Hello everyone, this is Maria from Little Knits, and in this tutorial I will show you how to knit this sitter romper. This is the Julius Romper, and it's for 6-9 months old. But before to start working this romper, I need to explain some things. There's a couple actually of things that you need to know for knitting this romper. Besides of how to knit and purl, you need to how to cast on, how to cast off. You need to know how to decrease, like how to knit two stitches together, and how to SSK, which mean slip, slip, and knit. And the most important part, you need to know how to circular knitting. Okay, so knitting in round, and how to use double pointed needles, because this romper from the waistband, from here down here, including the legs, is sorry, knitted in round. The chest part from a waistband to here and the back side are knitted separately, back and forth. The circular knitting just need a little bit of practice, and let's say that this technique will give a great look to your knits. This romper is worked in Andalusian stitch because I love the texture so much, and by using this stitch, I think this romper has a kind of vintage look, you know, the old knits that our parents or mothers and grandmothers were knitting years ago for us as babies. And now let's see what you need for this project. The yarn I used in this mint Julius romper, and that I will use for this tutorial also, is 100% certificate cotton. This is the yarn. It's from Rosario's for nature. It's such a beautiful yarn, and it knits very well. You will need for this size of the romper, remember I said it's for 6-9 months old, you will need 2 skeins. We won't use all of the yarn, but we need more than 1 skein, so you need to buy 2 skeins of yarn. You will need also circular needles. I have these ones, this pair. Mine are from House of Yarn. You can use what brand you prefer, as long as they are US 10 or 3.5 millimeters and 16 inches long or 40 centimeters. We also need double pointed needles. I have also US 10 and US 1. So these are 3.5 millimeters and these are 2.5 millimeters. Actually, in US size, US 10 is between 3 and 3.25 millimeters. I couldn't find the exact number for 3.5 millimeters in USA. So I guess is US 10. Okay. We need scissors. We need yarn needle. And we will also need 2 buttons. Now we can start to work the Julius Romper. So stay with me. Okay, so let's see. First of all, we need to cast on, provisional cast on with a different yarn, a different color at least. We need to cast on 96 stitches. Okay, so we need to cast on 6 stitches. We're starting by casting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Continue to cast on until you reach 96 stitches. I have my 96 stitches. I will cut the yarn here, leaving a short tail. I will make a knot. And now I will start to work with the main yarn. First, we need to make 5 rows of ribbing 1 by 1. Okay, we start with please be careful here and not twist the stitches. Okay, so we don't need to twist the stitches. I leave, let's say this is half of inch of tail. And we start by the first stitch. We knit the first stitch, Then we purl the next. So this is the ribbing one by one. Knit one, purl one. Oops. Knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. So this is row 1. We repeat knit 1, purl 1 until the end of our row. I complete row 1. You will end the row with a purl stitch. Now I need to place a marker because we need to know where we start every row. Now we start row 2 of ribbing one by one. So we first knit 1, we pull this tail and make here a knot or 2, just pull tight. Okay, and I work for a couple of stitches together with this tail. Okay, so I have a knit stitch, my first stitch. Now I need to purl the next stitch. So I purl the next stitch. Now I need to knit the next stitch, then purl, then knit the next, once again, purl, knit 1. I will leave the tail in the back of the work and continue to work in ribbing. So I need to purl 1, again knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until you reach the end of the row. I completed row 2. Now I'm starting row 3. Remember, we are knitting, working the first 5 rows in ribbing one by one. So I start row 3, I knit the first stitch and pull tight to close the gap between the last stitch and the first stitch of the next row. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. This is the tail in the back side. I need to pull here the yarn and continue to work until the end of the row. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. I complete row 3. Don't forget to slip the stitch marker at the beginning of every row. Now we start to knit row 4, also in ribbing 1 by 1. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the end of the row. So this is row 4. I will come back to you after I complete my row 5. Okay, so this is row 4 and I need to make another row. I completed row 5 and I want you to show you something. So as I said, we need to work 5 rows on ribbing 1 by 1 for this waistband. Okay, I did 5 rows, but actually, okay, so my dog is very sad. I don't know why. I have a black Labrador. He's very sweet. So I made here, oh my God. I made 5 rows of ribbing, but actually with the yarn I need for the romper, I have only 4 rows. You see, you can see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because my first row is with the yarn that I use for the provisional cast on. That means that I need to make 1 more row in ribbing 1 by 1 to have 5 rows with the yellow yarn. Okay, at the end we will have 6 rows in ribbing, but only 5 are important, because this one will disappear once we start to work the chest part. So let's make another row in ribbing 1 by 1. Don't forget to slip the marker and start to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until you reach the end of the row. And then I will come back and start to work in pattern. Okay, so this is the Andalusian stitch. It's very, very easy to make. Nothing complicated. I've done my 6 rows in ribbing 1 by 1. Remember, we only have 5 here because this one, it will no longer be here once we start to work the chest part. Now we need to start to knit the pattern stitch. I will turn the work, the romper, so you can see. As I said, this stitch is very easy. It's a repetition of only 4 rows. Okay, we start with row 1, which is a knit row, row 2, also a knit row, row 3, a knit row. So row 1, 2, and 3 we knit. On row 4 we add texture. How? Making a row of ribbing 1 by 1. Okay, so let's see. Slip the marker, and from now on we work the Andalusian stitch pattern repetition. So row 1 we knit all the stitches until we reach the end of the row. So row 1, knit. I complete row 1. Okay, so row 1 we knit. Now we need to make 2 more rows of knitting stitch. Okay, so row 1 we knit, on row 2 we knit, and on row 3 we will also knit every stitch. I will come back after row 3. Oops. I got my 3 rows in knit stitch. Now I need to make row 4 for the Andalusian stitch. Remember, it's a 4-row repetition. And row 4 is a ribbing row, ribbing 1 by 1. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the end of the row. Okay, so knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the end of the row. I completed row 4. Okay, so this is my first repetition. For this romper, we need to work, let's see how many repetitions. So this was my first. Let's see the texture row, the ribbing. Let's see how many ribbing rows we have. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, which means that we need to work these 4 rows repetition of the pattern another 12 times more. Okay, in total we need 13 repetitions of these 4 rows. We've done 1 repetition here. We need to work another 12 repetitions of row 1 to 4. Okay, this is very stretchy, see, and has a beautiful texture. So I will come back after my 12 more repetitions of these 4 stitch. Remember, 4 rows, sorry. Remember, row 1, 2, and 3 is are worked in knit stitch, and row 4 we work ribbing row of 1 by 1. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Okay, I will come back after I have my others 12 repetitions, and after the 12 repetitions we will start to work the leg part. Okay, I've done my 13 repetition of the 4 rows in Andalusian stitch. We count from the texture row. So we have 1 repetition, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this is the 13. Now we need to start and work the leg part. I will show you my method here, but if you don't like this part between the legs, I will explain you at the end. Because there is another method to do this. Okay, now we have in total 96 stitches. Okay, that means that we will have 48 stitches from here down here for one leg and the rest for the second leg. We will continue working in pattern. At the same time, we will decrease. We will decrease that from now on. We start with row 1 for the first leg. So we will decrease on row 1, row 3, and row 5. So let's see. I need US 10 double pointed needles, and we starting by we knit the first stitch, we pull tight here, then we make a decrease. We slip the first stitch on the right needle, we slip the second stitch on the right needle, and we knit them through the back loop. Okay, I have 2 stitches. I need 21 stitches more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. In total, after we make the first decrease on the first double pointed needle, we need to have 23 stitches. Okay, this is the half of the first leg. Now the other half, same. We knit 21 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 16, sorry, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now we make another decrease. We knit 2 stitches together. So this is the stitch 22 and 23. So this is the first leg. These are the stitches for the first leg, 23 here and 23 here. The rest of the stitches we will leave aside. I need to have here 48. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, and 48. Okay, we secure here the yarn. So we want to lose our stitches for the second leg. And now we will start to work row 2 of our first leg. See? This is how I divide the stitches for each leg. We first work this leg and then the next. Okay, so we've done row 1, the first row for the first leg. Remember that we work in pattern, so here we've done the first knit row. Now we continue to make the second row. On the first row we decreased 2 stitches, one at the beginning of the row after the first stitch and one before the last stitch of the row, so here. The next row, row 2, is also a knit row and we won't decrease on row 2. So we just knit the row 2. It's not unusual to me working legs or sleeves with double pointed needles. Actually, only with double pointed needles I work legs and sleeves. It's how I am used to. I know there are different needles for legs and sleeves, but I still I didn't use them yet. Okay, we turn. When we start to knit the first stitch from the second double point needle, we need to pull tight the first stitch to avoid the gap here. So this is row 2, a knit row. Okay, we almost done with row 2. Okay, this is my last stitch from row 2. Now we start row 3. Row 3 is also a knit row, and at the same time we will make another decrease, sorry. So row 3, we knit the first stitch, pull tight here, then we slip the first stitch, the second stitch and the third, and we knit them through the back loop. So this is the first decrease. Then we knit the rest of the stitches from this first double pointed needle. Almost done with the first double pointed needle. You see, this is the reason I don't want to sell my patterns, because they need more explanations. And if you are a visual learner, I think this tutorial are the best way to show my work. Okay, we are at the row 3, and this is our second double pointed needle. We knit the stitches from the second double pointed needles until we reach our last 3 stitches, because we need to make another decrease. Okay, we almost done with row 3. Okay, so I reach my last 3 stitches. I knit 2 stitches together, and then I knit the last stitch. So this was a row 3. Okay, on row 4 we add texture by ribbing one by one. So we knit the first stitch, purl the next stitch, knit the first stitch, purl the next stitch, knit the first, purl the next. Okay, so this is the repetition until we reach the end of the row. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Just a second because my yarn, it's stuck. Okay, so knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Half of row 4. Okay, so we've done here a purl stitch. Now we make a knit stitch. So again, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, until the end of the row. I will make all the rows with you guys, so you can understand how to work the first leg. Okay, so we reach the end of the row 4. We end the row with a purl stitch. Now we will start row 5 and again the repetition. And on row 5 we will make the last decrease row. Okay, so row 5 is a knit row. We start by knit 1 stitch, then slip, slip, and knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop. So this is the first decrease of the row at the beginning of the row. Now we knit until we reach our last 3 stitches. Okay, I will try to knit them fast. So I think my table is too high and my needles, see? So remember, we knit until we reach our last 3 stitches. Almost done. Okay, so these are my last 3 stitches. Now we knit 2 stitches together and knit the last stitch. So this was row 5 and the last decrease row. Row 6. On row 6 we knit. Okay, so on row 6 we, oops, we knit. Almost done with row 6. On row 7 we will also knit all the stitches, and on row 8 we will work ribbing one by one, knit one per one. So I will come back to you after I will complete row 8. So remember, I am working now row 6. It's a knit row. Then we need to work row 7, also a knit row, and then row 8, which is a ribbing row. So on row 8 we will knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, and I will come back and start to work with you row 9. Okay, I completed row 8. Now we start to work row 9. From now on, row 9, 10 and 11 we work in knit stitch. Okay, so this is row 9, which is a knit row. Same for row 10 and 11. So this is row 9. So row 9 we knit, on row 10 we knit, and on row 11 we also knit. I will come back after I complete my row 11 and show you how to work for to complete the first leg. Okay, so I will see you after my 11 row. I completed row 11, and now we will start working row 12. Row 12. On row 12 we purl every stitch. So row 12 is this one. See? Row 12. So on row 12 we purl every stitch until the end of the row. So row 12 is a purl row. Okay, almost done with row 12. You can cast off here, or you can continue to work like me. My edge leg here is doubled, and I think it's more beautiful and more stretchy like this. Okay, so we complete row 12, which was a purl row. Now we need to change needles, double pointed needles. We will use US 1 or 2.5 millimeters needles. So we are at row 12. We need to work 4 more rows, another 4 rows in knit stitch. So that means that row 13, 14, 15 and 16 we knit on these 4 rows, but with US 1 needle or 2.5 millimeters needles. So in total we work 16 rows for each leg. So I change one needle. Now the second needle. So this is row 13. So row 13, work in knit stitch. Okay. So with row 13, I changed my needles. Okay, we need to work 3 more rows in a knit stitch, and then we will cast off. So row 14, 15 and 16 also in knit stitch. I will come back and I will cast off with you. Okay, so 3 more rows in knit stitch. Okay, I got my 4 rows of knit stitch with needles 2.5 millimeters or US 1. After the row 4, you will cast off. You will cast off, leaving a long tail about 30 centimeters or 10, 11 inches long, because now we will work the turned hem edge. First, we need to turn the work on the back side. Okay. And now we need to fold the hem and start sewing the hem edge. We turn like this, we fold like this. This is the purl row on the front side before the last 4 rows of knit stitch. Okay, so this is like a border edge. We fold and we start to sew. So we will pick up, just a second because I got a problem with the yarn. Let's see. Okay. We will pick a stitch from here up and a bump purl down. Then we pick a purl bump down and a stitch up like this. So first we pick stitch from here and a bump purl together. So top down. Now we work down top. Okay, so we pick, let me explain you. So I have a bump here, up, one down. I'm not picking this. I passed this and pick the second. Okay, so one bump from here and one stitch here. Again, now we will sew top down. So one stitch here and one bump purl from here. Now down to top, one bump purl from here and one stitch from here. Now top down, one stitch from here, one bump purl from here. So this is how we need to sew our hem edge. It's nothing complicated. Just needed patience. Okay, so now I am top down, down top and top down. down to top, top, down. So from down here, I am picking one bump purl, I am slipping the next and picking the other. Okay, top down, down. So this is how we need to sew this hem edge. I really hope you understand my explanations. Okay, so this is how we proceed until the last stitch. Don't pull very tight because we need this leg and the hem edge to be stretchy. Okay, so I am top down. I got my bump purl. Now down to top. See, from here we pick up every stitch, but from here where we have bump purls, we pick up one, slip the next, pick up one, slip the next. Okay, so we are top down again, one stitch from top, one from down. Almost done with its hem edge. A couple of stitches more. And I will show you how beautiful on the front side looks. Okay, so now we are down to up, up and down, down, up and down. We almost done. Let's see, one more, and this is it. Now we need to wave the yarn. We don't make knots. Okay, one more time. So easy to work this turned hem edge. I like it more like this for legs and sleeves. It gives a nice look. Okay, let's cut the yarn. Let's turn the work on the front side. So this is our first leg, okay, and this is our turned hem edge. Look how beautiful. See, this is the back side and this is the front side. Now we start with the second leg and we work the same way we made our first leg. Okay, so first we need to place our stitches onto double pointed needles, 2 double pointed needles. Okay, we have 48 stitches in total, so we place 24 stitches on one needle and 24 on the second needle. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24 on my first double pointed needle, and here we need to have another 24. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 24. From now on, we work the second leg exactly like we did with the first leg. Okay, when we will attach the yarn, the new yarn, we will leave a tail at least 6-7 inches, around 20 centimeters, because with this tail we will sew the gap at the end, the gap between the two legs. Okay, so now we start and work the second leg is exactly as the first leg. So row 1 on our second leg, we knit the first stitch, then we slip, and then knit those 2 stitches through the back loop. This is 1 decrease, okay, and then we continue work in knit stitch until we reach our last 3 stitches from the second needle. So here they are, my last 3 stitches. I knit 2 stitches together and then knit the last stitch. So this was the first row from the second leg. I will make a knot here. Remember, we decrease on row 1, row 3, and row 5. So this was row 1. We made 1 decrease at the beginning at the row and 1 at the end of the row. Now we will work row 2 and row 3 in knit stitch. Okay. This is row 2. I've done row 2. Now I start with row 3, which is a knit row, but at the same time we need to make another decrease. So row 3, we start by knit the first stitch, then slip the second, slip the third, and knit those two through the back loop. So this is slip, slip, knit. Now we knit until we reach our last 3 stitches from our second double pointed needle. So basically at the end of the row. Okay, I will come back and make the other decrease. My last 3 stitches, I knit 2 stitches together. This is the second decrease, and then knit 1 stitch. Remember that we work in pattern, so the Andalusian stitch is a repetition of 4 stitches. We have 4 rows, sorry. We have our 3 knit rows. Now we will start row 4, and on row 4 we make rib 1 by 1. Okay, so knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. This is the repetition until you reach the last stitch of row 4. I will come back and start with you row 5. I've done row 4 in rib stitch 1 by 1. This is what I have from the first skein of yarn. I need the second skein now, so I can finish this romper. Okay. Now we start to work row 5 in knit stitch, and also this is the row where we make the last decreases. Okay, so we start by knit 1 stitch, then slip, slip, and knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop. This is slip, slip, knit. Then we will knit until we reach our last 3 stitches from the second needle. Okay, so knit until the last 3 stitches of our row. I have my last 3 stitches. I knit 2 stitches together and then knit the last stitch. So this was a row 5, a row 6 and 7 we will knit. So row 6 knit, row 7 knit, and I will come back for row 8. So I just finished row 7. Now we start with row 8. On row 8 we work in ribbing 1 by 1. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. This is the repetition for row 8. After row 8, we need to work 3 more rows in knit stitch. So row 9, 10 and 11 we work in knit stitch. I will come back and work with you row 12. I've done row 11. Now we start to work row 12. Row 12 we purl every stitch. If you don't like to work this folded hem edge, you can cast off on row 12. Depends on how you like, with folded hem edge or not. So you can cast off on this row. But since I am making the folded hem edge, I will continue to work. So row 12 we purl every other stitch until the end of the row. So purl. I've done row 12, a purl row. Now we need to work 4 rows in knit stitch, but at the same time we need to change our needles. Okay, so now I will work with 2.5 millimeters or US 1. Okay, so another 4 rows for our hem edge. 4 rows in knit stitch. I will come back after my 4 rows to cast off the last row. Don't forget to change the needles. Okay, so I replaced the first needle. And now the second. Okay, so now the second needle. So this is our first row in knit stitch. I will work another 3 rows and come back to cast off with you. I've done my 4 rows in knit stitch for my hem edge. Now we need to cast off, not too tight. We need a loosely cast off. This is how I do. I knit 2 stitches together through the back loop. See, I have one. I place this stitch again on the left needle and knit another 2 stitches together through the back loop. Place the stitch on the left needle, again knit 2 stitches together through the back loop, again on the left needle, and again knit 2 stitches together through the back loop. Okay, so this is how I cast off my stitches. See? Always 2 stitches through the back loop, and always place the stitch on the left needle after you knit 2 stitches together through the back loop. This will give you a nice cast off. Okay, I will let you to work the cast off, and I will come back and make another folded hem edge. We will sew our hem edge. I finished my cast off. Now we need to cut the yarn. Remember, you need about 30 centimeters long tail, or 10-11 inches. Okay. Remember, we need to turn our work so we can sew our hem edge. Let's take the yarn needle, fold the edge, and start to pick up the bump purl first. So top down. Now we sew down to top. So we slip this and insert here and here. Again, we are top down. We pick up bump purl. And again, down to top. And top down. You don't need to pull tight the yarn because we want to have a stretchy edge. See? It's very easy once you figure how to work. If you know other method to make this hem edge, of course, you can use your method. This is how I work. Okay, so we sew this edge until the last stitch. I will come back to close the gap between the two legs. I've done my both legs, and I was thinking this until now my work, it's a pretty pair of short pants. Look, this is beautiful. At least I think it's beautiful. Okay, now we need to sew this little gape here. We have the tail from our second leg when we attach the yarn and start to work the second leg. You need to find the stitches and sew. So let me show you. I have my yarn here and I will insert here. Okay, just easy waving through the stitches. Okay. I will need to come back along the stitches, probably 2 more times, so I can be sure this is closed here and secured. Just look for the little gaps. You see? It's not complicated. And if you don't like this method, you can work. That's enough. I will make a knot. I will show you right away another method. Let's make a knot or two here on the back side to secure the yarn. This is my second knot, and then just wave through the stitches and cut the yarn. As I said, if you don't like to work between the legs as I did, before to divide the stitches for the legs, remember that we have 48 stitches for one leg and 48 stitches for the second leg. You can, for example, work the first 2 stitches or 3, let's say 3 stitches, then work 42 stitches and place those 42 stitches on a needle. So remember, we have 3 here, 42 for the leg, and then work another 3 stitches from here and 3 from here. Again, place 42 stitches on a holder and then work 3 stitches again. So you will have 6 stitches here and 6 here for this part between the legs. You work these 6 front stitches and 6 back stitches together, and this is the part between the legs, and then you will have 42 stitches for one leg and 42 for one leg. Of course, you will not decrease another stitch for the leg, so you work in pattern those 42 stitches for the first leg and 42 stitches from the second for the second leg. I really hope you understand my explanations, but if not, please don't hesitate to message me. I will answer you without a problem. Now we will start and work the back and then the front, the chest part. Okay, first we need to replace 48 stitches for the back and 48 stitches for the chest front. As I said, we need 48 stitches for the back and 48 stitches for the chest part. This is our provisional cast on. This is how we replace our stitches. Okay, so I got one here, see, I got one here, one here, see, one here, one here. This is the back side. I started from the middle. This is that means that I need 24 stitches. This is half of back side stitches. Okay, so we need 24 stitches. I will come back after I have my 24 stitches. So I have 24. I will place aside these 24 stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is half of our back. Now I will place for the front 48 stitches. Okay, I start from here. This is my first stitch. With the help of a yarn needle, okay, I will meet you after I have 48 stitches on this needle. I have my 48 stitches for the chest part. I will place some stoppers on my needle so I don't lose my stitches. Now I need to undo another 24, the other half of the back side. So now we undone the provisional cast on. With the help of a yarn needle. It's very easy to undo the provisional cast on. Okay, so you need to have here another 24 stitches. I will come back after I have my all 24. I have my other 24 stitches. I need to place those stitches too on this yarn holder, because first we will work the chest part. Okay, so we have 48 stitches for the back side, back part, sorry, and 48 for the front part or chest part. Okay. Let's start to work the front part. Remember that we work with 3.5 millimeters needle. Okay. First, we need to attach the yarn. So we have 48 stitches. We need to decrease until we have 32 stitches. Okay, we will decrease on every front row. So first row, we knit the first 3 stitches. This is our stitch border, let's say. So we knit the first 3. I need to make a knot here because you know I work a couple of stitches together with this tail. So knit the first 3 stitches, then slip the first, slip the second, and knit those 2 stitches together through the back loop. Continue to knit until you reach the last 5 stitches. Okay, so we knit until the last 5 stitches. Remember, this is the chest part, and this is the part where we need to make 2 buttonholes. But we are not there yet, not yet. Okay, so remember, knit until you reach the last 5 stitches. Okay, these are my 5 stitches. I knit 2 stitches together, then I knit 3 stitches. This was the front row. The back row, we slip the first stitch as if we purl. Oh, sorry, I lost 1 stitch here. Let me fix it. Okay. And we purl until the end of the row. Remember that we work the Andalusian stitch pattern in round, but this is the only time that we don't make 3 rows on in a knit stitch, just this time. Because I want to make the decreases only on knit stitch. On knit stitch row. Okay. So this is our second row. Okay. Row 3, we slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, then slip, slip, knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop. Then we start to work in a rib one by one until the last 5 stitches. Okay, so we start by knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the last 5 stitches. As you can see, we make 1 decrease after the first 3 stitches and 1 decrease before the last 3 stitches. In total, on this row, we decrease 2 stitches. Okay, so continue to work in rib one by one, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until you reach the last 5 stitches. Okay, I have my last 5 stitches. I knit 2 stitches together and then knit 3 stitches, the last 3 stitches. So let me show you. We have 3 stitches border in knit stitch. Also, we slip the first stitch. We don't knit this stitch. Then we make a decrease. Then we work in rib one by one until the last 5 stitches. Then we make another decrease and then we knit the last 3 stitches. This is the other border. Now we need to work 3 rows in stockinette stitch. This is the repetition for the Andalusian pattern. Yes, we slip the first as if we purl, and then we purl all the stitches. So until now, we decreased 4 stitches. So now on this row, we need to count 44 stitches. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44. Okay. Now we make another decrease. We slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches. We make a slip, slip, knit. Okay, so slip, slip, knit through the back of the stitches. Now we knit until we reach our last 5 stitches. Okay, so after this row we will have 42 stitches. Remember that we need to decrease until we reach 32 stitches. Okay, I have my last 5 stitches. I knit 2 stitches together. Okay, and then knit the last 3 stitches. Next row is a purl row. We slip the first and purl until the end of the row. Remember, on this row you will have 42 stitches. So this is row 6. We are at row 6. Okay. So count 42 stitches on row 6. Okay. Row 7. Okay. We have here 2 rows, the first 2 rows. Row 1 knit, row 2 purl, row 3 we work rib 1 by 1, row 4 purl, row 5 knit, row 6 purl, and row 7 again we make the repetition of the row with rib 1 by 1, but first we need to decrease. So slip the first, knit the next 2 stitches, then slip the 1 stitch, slip another, and knit those 2 stitches together through the back loop. This is the first decrease. Then working pattern. Knit 1, purl 1, 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 until the last 5 stitches. Remember, this is row 7. Okay, almost here. Probably this will be my long tutorial until now. We are at the last 5 stitches. We knit 2 stitches together and then knit the last 3 stitches. So this was row 7. This is how it looks so far. See? So easy to work this romper. At least I think it's easy. Now, row 8, we purl. And on this row, I think we need to have 40 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 46, 8, and 40. Okay, so row 8, we purl. I will come back and start with you row 9. Row 9 is knit row, but also a decrease row. So remember, the Andalusian stitch pattern is a repetition of 4 rows. Row 1, 2, and 3 in stockinette stitch, because we work back and forth the chest part. Okay, so row 1, 2, 3 in stockinette stitch. Row 4 we work rib one by one. So we have our knit row. This is another knit row. So we slip the first, knit the next 2 stitches, slip, slip, and knit these 2 through the back loop, the first decrease, and then work in knit stitch until you reach the last 5 stitches. So my last 5 stitches on row 9, I need to make one more decrease, so I will knit 2 stitches together and then knit the last 3 stitches. Row 10. On row 10 we purl, and you should count 38 stitches. Okay, so row 10, purl every single stitch, and also count 38 stitches. I will come back and work with you row 11. Row 11 is a ribbing one by one row, but first we need to make another decrease. So we slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, then we make the first decrease by slipping one, slipping the second stitch, and knit this through the back loop. Now we start by knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, until we reach our last 5 stitches. So knit 1, purl 1 until the last 5 stitches. So my last 5 stitches, I knit 2 stitches together, then I knit the last 5 stitches, 3 stitches, sorry. So this was row 11. On row 12 we purl, and we should count 36 stitches. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, and 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so row 12 we have 36 stitches. Again, we need to make another decrease row. So we slip the first, knit the next 2 stitches, slip, slip, knit, and then we just knit until the last 5 stitches. Okay, I will come back when I reach my last 5 stitches. Okay, the last 5 stitches. So we need to knit 2 stitches together and then knit the last 3 stitches. Row 14 is a purl row. Remember that here we need to count 34 stitches. That means that we have 1 more row of decrease. So we can reach our 32 stitches. Okay. So this is row 14. Okay. On row 15, we make a decrease at the beginning, at the end, but also we work in rib stitch 1 by 1. So we slip the first, knit the next 2 stitches, then slip 1, and knit together through the back loop. Then we start ribbing. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, until the last 5 stitches. This is our last decrease. Almost there. Okay, so the last 5 stitches, we knit 2 stitches together and then we knit 3. So this was row 15. On row 16, we purl, and we should have here on row 16 32 stitches. Let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 4, 6, 8, 30, and 32. Okay, so row 16, purl every single stitch, and you should count on row 16 32 stitches. Okay, we are at row 17. A couple more rows, and we will make the 2 buttonholes. So row 17 is a knit row. We don't decrease anymore. So row 17 we knit, row 18 we will purl, and I will come back and work with you row 19. Row 19 is a rib 1 by 1 row, but first we start by slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches. Remember, this is our stitches border. Then we start by knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the last 3 stitches. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, couple more stitches. I really hope you will enjoy knitting the Julius Romper. Okay, so these are my last 3 stitches. I will knit those 3 stitches. So this was row 19. On row 20 we purl, so row 20 purl, row 21 knit, row 22 purl, and I will come back and work with you row 24. I finished row 22 and we are at row 23. No, not 24 as I said earlier. So row 23 we will work in rib 1 by 1. First we slip the first stitch, we knit the next 2 stitches, then we start ribbing. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until we reach the last 3 stitches. Then we will knit those 3 last stitches. Okay, almost there. Okay, the last 3 stitches we knit this. On row 24, sorry, we will make buttonholes. Row 24 is a purl row, so we slip the first, purl the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 stitches in total. Then yarn over, purl 2 stitches together, okay, so yarn over, purl 2 stitches together, then we purl until we reach our last 7 stitches. Okay, purl until the last 7 stitches. You see, this is the first button hole. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2 more. Okay, now we are at our last 7 stitches, we purl 2 stitches together, then we yarn over and purl the last 5 stitches. So this was row 24. On row 25, we knit all the stitches. We slip the first stitch always, because look how it looks if you slip the first stitch at the beginning of every row. Okay, so row 25, we knit all the stitches. Here we have the yarn over from the previous round. We knit this too. This is our buttonhole. I will show you right away. See? So we knit until the end of the row. And here is the second yarn over from the previous round. So this was row 25. Okay. On row 26, we purl. So row 26, purl. I will come back for our last row. The last row of the chest part, and also the cast off row, is ribbing one by one. At the same time we will cast off, so we won't have anymore 3 stitches border here and here. So we start by knit the first stitch, then purl, pass over the first stitch. What's next? Knit stitch, then pass over, then we have a purl stitch, pass over, a knit stitch, pass over, a purl stitch, oops, okay, pass over, again a knit stitch, then pass over, purl stitch, pass over. See, this is how we end. So here we have a purl stitch, oh sorry, then a knit stitch, and we cast off a purl stitch, knit stitch. So this is how you work until the last stitch. So knit one, pass over, purl one, pass over, knit one, pass over. This is the sequence until the end of the row. I will come back and start with the back part. The back part is worked as the front, as the chest part. The only difference is that we want to do buttonholes. Okay. So I reached my last stitch. We will cut the yarn. This is how it looks so far. Our Julius Romper. After blocking, it will look beautiful because you need to stretch the pattern. See? Let's wave this tail, and then we can start to work the back of the romper. Couple of stitches only, and back, and that's it. Now we start with the back side. First we need to pick up 48 stitches. Remember, we have 48. Okay. I will come back after I have my all 48 stitches on the needle. Okay. We start by knitting the first stitch, the second, and the third. It's the second because I forgot to make a knot here. Okay, so 2, 3. We knit 3 stitches. Then we slip, slip, and knit these 2 stitches together. Then we knit until we reach our last 5 stitches. Okay, so knit until you reach the last 5 stitches. I reached my last 5 stitches. I will knit 2 stitches together, then knit the last 3 stitches. So this was row 1. On row 2, we purl, we slip the first stitch, and purl until the end of the row. On row 2, you should count 46 stitches. So row 2, purl, and count 46 stitches. Row 3 is a rib row, ribbing one by one, but first we need to slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, then we make a decrease. So slip, slip, knit through the back loop, then knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, until you reach the last 5 stitches. My last 5 stitches, I will make another decrease by knitting 2 stitches together and then knit the last 3 stitches. This was row 3. On row 4, we purl every stitch and count 44 stitches. Okay, so on row 4, we purl and count 44 stitches. On row 5, we knit every stitch, but first we need to make the first decrease. So we slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, then slip, slip, knit together through the back loop, and then knit until the last 5 stitches. Okay, so knit until you reach the last 5 stitches. We are at row 5. I have my last 5 stitches. I need to make one more decrease by knitting 2 stitches together, then knit 3 stitches, the last 3 stitches. On row 6, we purl. Remember, you slip, always slip the first stitch. On row 6, we purl and count 42 stitches. Row 7, we will work in a rib one by one, but first we slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches. Now we will make the first decrease for this row. Slip, slip, knit together through the back loop. Now we work in rib stitch. Knit 1, purl 1. This is the sequence until the end, until the last 5 stitches. Okay, so knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the last 5 stitches. The last 5 stitches on row 7, we need to make another decrease by knitting 2 stitches together and then knit 3 stitches. Now for row 4, we purl and count 40 stitches. 40 stitches. Okay, I will come back and work row 9. Row 9 is a knit row. First we need to make our decrease, the first decrease of the row. So slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, slip, slip, knit together through the back loop, and then knit until the last 5 stitches. My last 5 stitches on row 9, knit 2 stitches together and then knit 3. On row 10, we purl and count 38 stitches. Okay, so row 10, purl and count 38 stitches. Row 11, it's a rib one by one row. First slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, the first decrease, slip, slip, knit together through the back loop, then start to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. This is the repetition. Knit 1, purl 1 until the last 5 stitches. My last 5 stitches on row 11. I need to make one more decrease. So I knit 2 stitches together and then knit 3 stitches. Row 12. On row 12 we purl and count 36 stitches. Okay, so row 12, purl every stitch and count 36 stitches. Row 13, this is a knit row, but let's make our decreases. So slip the first, knit the next 2 stitches, slip, slip, knit together through the back loop, and then knit until you reach the last 5 stitches. My last 5 stitches on row 13, we knit 2 stitches together and then knit the last 3 stitches. On row 14 we purl and we should count 34 stitches. Row 15, and this is the last row of decrease. Okay, on row 15. Row 15 is a rib 1 by 1 row, but first let's make our decrease. We slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches, slip, slip and knit through the back loop, then knit, purl, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until we reach our last 5 stitches. My last 5 stitches on row 15 and the last decrease. Knit 2 stitches together, knit the last 3 stitches. On row 16 we purl and count 32 stitches. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31 and 32. So this was row 16. We don't decrease anymore, we just work in pattern. So row 17 we will knit, on row 18 we will purl, and I will come back to work with you row 19. So remember, this is row 17 we will knit, and on row 18 we will purl. We are at row 19. Row 19 is a rib 1 by 1 row, but remember that we have, you can see here, 3 stitches border that we knit, and at the end same 3 stitches. So row 19 we start by slip the first stitch, knit the next 2 stitches. So this is our border. Then we start by knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until the last 3 stitches. Then you will knit those 3 stitches. Row 20, we start now with row 20 and we purl. On row 20 we purl. Okay, then row 21 we knit, row 22 we purl again, and row 23 we will knit. Okay, so I am at row 20, I purl, row 21 I will knit, row 22 again I will purl, and row 23 I will knit. See you on row 24. Okay, so earlier again I made a mistake, so so row 20 we purl, row 21 we knit, and row 22 again we purl. And now I am at row 23. Okay, on row 23 we work rib one by one. First we slip the first stitch, we knit the next 2 stitches, then we start ribbing. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, until we reach our last 3 stitches, and we will knit those 3 stitches. Okay, so this is my dog that you just heard. Okay, a couple more stitches and almost done with row 23. Okay, so these are our last 3 stitches. We knit. Now we will make row 24 we will purl, on row 25 we will knit, on row 26 again we purl, and I will come back for row 27. And the last row is row 27. Row 27 we will work in rib one by one every stitch without border stitch, but also we will cast off and leave only the stitches that we will work the first strip and the second strip. So first we work in rib one by one 7 stitches. Okay, so knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. I have 2, 4, 6. I need another one. I will knit 1 stitch. So these are the stitches for the first strip. Now I will cast off until I reach the last 7 stitches. I will not cast off in rib stitch because see here it's curling. I will cast off in purl stitch. Okay, like this. This won't curl. Anyway, I will block this romper, but maybe you won't, or maybe you steam block. I block wet my my props, my bonnets, my rompers, almost everything I knit, I block wet. Okay, so we cast off in purl stitch until we have 7 stitches on the needle. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so now I have 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. So this is my last stitch from the cast off, which I will consider a purl stitch. Then I will knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and purl 1. What I'm gonna do now is I will place these first 7 stitches onto yarn holder like this, because I want to knit this strip. So this is the first row of our strip. We need to work 42 more rows in rib 1 by 1. Okay, so this was my first. Okay, I will continue to work back and forth in rib stitch. So I have here a purl stitch, I will purl. Here I have a knit stitch, I will knit. Again, a purl stitch, I will purl. A knit stitch, I will knit. A purl stitch, I will purl. Oh, sorry. And the last one is a knit stitch. So this was my row 2. Okay, so you knit, you work the stitches as they show. Okay, so here I have a purl stitch, I will purl. A knit stitch, I will knit. A purl stitch, I will purl. A knit stitch, I will knit. A purl, a knit, and a purl stitch. So this is how you need to work in rib 1 by 1 back and forth. So this was my 3rd row. Remember, you need to have in total 43 rows. The first was the one that we also cast off the other stitches. I made another 2 rows. Now I need to make 40 rows more. I will come back after my 40 rows. Okay, so I have 43 rows worked in rib 1 by 1. I will cast off. This is our first strip. So cast off. I cast off in purl stitch, as you can see. Okay. We cut the yarn, leaving a tail for about 3 inches, because with this tail we will sew the button, sorry. Okay, so this is the first strip. Let me show you how it looks. Okay, like this. Now we need to make the second strip. We will replace onto the needle the 7 stitches. Place again the stitches on our double pointed needle. So this was the first row. I will show you something how I do. You see, so these are the 7 stitches, and this is where we start to cast off. See, we have here a gap. I will pick up 1 stitch from here, from the first cast off stitch, and I will work together with the first stitch from our strip. Okay, so I have a purl stitch, I will purl. Next I have a knit stitch, I will knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and purl. So this was my second row. This is my third row. Okay, so you work the stitches as they appear. If it is a knit stitch, you will knit. If it is a purl stitch, you will purl. Now this is the tail. From my attached yarn, I will make 1 knot, again another one, pull tie, and on row 3 I will work together with this tail. So I have a purl stitch, I will purl, oh sorry, okay, I have a knit stitch, I will knit, see, I have a purl stitch here, I will purl, knit stitch, I will knit, purl, I will leave this tail aside, I will wave at the end. So this was row 3. I will let you work this strip until we have in total 43 rows in rib 1 by 1, back and forth. Okay, then we will sew the buttons, and almost done. Okay, I made my second strip. Now I need to wave some tails, and then we will sew the buttons, and this is it. We almost done with this romper. Okay, so this is my first tail. And I think I have at least 2 more. So here they are, 3. Okay, let's fix these 2. I wave this tail like this. So this is another one. Two more. And then we will sew the buttons. I have here a box with buttons. Let's see what I can choose. I think I will go with brown. Let's see if I have 2. I need to be the same color. I will go with this one. I don't have yellow. No, I will go with this. Okay. And let's see if my needle, no, it's not good. I need another yarn needle for my buttons. Okay. So this like this. I will place the button here and I will weave the yarn through the first hole. I like so much this yarn. I hope you give it a try to this organic cotton for nature from Rosario's 4. Rosario's is Portuguese yarn and I love it. Actually, I have many yarns from Rosario's 4 and I love to knit with them. So this is the first button. Okay, let's cut here. Yay! This is my first. Now the second one. So my second button. And I will show you finally my Julius Romper. I really hope you will enjoy knitting this romper. Remember, this is for 6-9 months. I will give you the measurements right away, but remember, this one is still not blocked. Okay, I've done with my second button. Let's see. So this is Julius Romper. Okay. This is how it looks in organic cotton. Okay, this is the back. And now I will give you the final measurements. Let's see, from here, okay, to here, we have 27 centimeters. This will be almost 13 inches. And from here to here, I have 22 centimeters. This will be, I think, 9 inches. And from here to here, okay, I have 33 centimeters. This will be probably 15 inches. I hope to not make a mistake. So 33 centimeters from here to here. 27 centimeters from here to here, and 22 centimeters from here to here. Lay flat. Okay, this is Julius Romper. As I said, I hope you will enjoy knitting this romper. If you have any question, don't hesitate to message me, because for sure I made probably a couple of mistakes in this tutorial, but you can always message me. This is my first romper tutorial. It was hard, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was hard, but I hope the next one will be more easy to make for you. This is my pattern, and usually, or at least the last year, I worked only my patterns. So feel free to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and to activate the notifications, because I have many projects to show you. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.